Hello everyone, it's Amy and welcome back for week 50 of the new Build Your Stash and Craft. This week we are going to make alcohol inks. I've already made 4 of them, just for time's sake, and so that we could go ahead and try them. And these ones I made yesterday, so they've sat almost 24 hours. So because you do want time for that ink to really get settled down into your alcohol. Now what I did was, because these were 0.67, so about 3/4 of an ounce, and the alcohol inks in the little bottles that you can buy are a half an ounce. I went ahead and measured. Let's see, I thought I had a mark on here. Maybe it's on this one. Yeah. So I measured it down to I took a third off. So I did about 2/3 of rubbing alcohol and then left a third of it empty. Now, these are not coming out as dark as they used to the last time that I made them. And I'm possibly thinking it's because they have not put as much ink in the markers as they used to. You know, everything cuts back at times and the marker's the same size. You don't know the difference as far as how much is in there, but this kind of did show there might be a little less ink in there. So they still worked good. They still work good. They're just a little lighter than what I'm used to. And so what I'm going to do is I remarked it at just half a bottle. That'll be a little less than half an inch, but I am going to, so I had a mark here. That's how full the others are, but I'm going to take this down to half a bottle, which will be a little less than half an ounce. But remember, in order to refill these, all you have to do is put in another marker, so you can refill them for $1.25, or you can make them twice as strong for another $1.25. Just gonna try and do these both about the same. Yep, that looks good. Okay, so then what you're going to do is you're going to have your half a bottle, or a little less than half an ounce, of your 91% rubbing alcohol, and then you are going to take your marker, and the first thing you're going to do is use your pliers to pull off the nib, or pull out the nib. And those come out really pretty easy, and then you're just going to drop that in there. Now we have to get the top off. Sometimes they might come off easy. These ones I'm finding they really didn't, so what I did was I just kind of gave it a little bit of a twist and I just bent it. And this one's going to pull right out. The other ones that I did, the top just broke off. Okay, so now we're going to take that, and this is why you need your gloves. You really need your gloves, because just wanted to look and see if it looks like there's ink in the bottom. Not really. Okay. You want your gloves because this is permanent ink. So I'm going to cut this in half so that it will fit in my bottle, and then just take, oh, here it is. I couldn't find my knife. We're going to take our knife, and we're just going to, I start in the middle and just kind of poke it in there and pull it across. You're going to want a plastic bag or something underneath you that also will save your counter space. We're just going to make sure that we cut that all the way across so it opens up. And just open that up. And now we have our ink in the middle. And I just kind of usually just mess it up a little bit. You don't have to do that. I don't know why I do that. And then just stick that down in our bottle. And then we're going to do the other half. Whoops, I didn't go all the way across. Be careful not to cut your surface. There we go. That's opened up all the way. We're just going to stick that one down in there. And then get our top back on there so that we don't spill it. Now see, it's already getting nice and dark. Just give that a shake to basically wash that ink out of those bits and get them into our alcohol. Like I said, I did go ahead and let these others set overnight. Now if I shake this and we kind of see the color that we have at the top, there's some good color there. Let's look at the purple, which is another dark color. See, that's a little darker than this is. And that's just because this has set overnight. So, and then in order to clean off your knife, your scissors, wherever you got the permanent ink that you don't want it, just use some of your rubbing alcohol. See how that knife's got that blue right on there? We're just going to wash that off. Now, it's not going to wash it off paper. It's not going to wash it off clothing. See how the paper there is dyed blue? That's not going to come off. It's only going to come off our non-porous surfaces. So that's why you want to be careful not to get it anywhere. Don't think it'll be easy to clean it off anything, because if you get it on your tablecloth or something, it's not going to easily come off of there. And I'm washing this now, even though I'm not done making them, because I don't want this blue to contaminate my red, which is the other one that I still have to do. So I'm just going to get that wiped off there really well, and then we'll do the red one. So, and these are really fun to play with, and like I said, I may have got a little too much alcohol in those, so they're a little light, but whether they're light or dark, you know, they still work. So, and like I said, whoops, you can, well, come on. Okay, my hands don't want to work today. Okay, squish it and hold it. There we go. Okay, and then we're going to break the top off of this one. We'll see how it comes off. Just kind of give it a twist and then bend it. See, that one broke. And that's how my other ones did also. So, and just be careful when you're doing that, not to throw the ink all over the place and not to hurt yourself. So we'll take that one out. And then we're going to cut it in half. I tried cutting it in half with my knife, and because of whatever plastic is on the outside of here, it did not want to cut easily this way. And I was really squishing it and everything, so I found that the scissors really did cut it much better. And I did not wash those scissors off. And there's a little bit of blue on here, but hopefully that won't make a difference. So I'm just going to take that and stick that in there. So, and what are alcohol inks good for? Alcohol inks are good for coloring non-porous surfaces like plastic, glass, metal. They're just fun to play with. They're not made for paper, although they will color paper. But number one, they come in such a small amount, and the paper just soaks it right up really quickly. So it's kind of a waste when you can use other colors, other things to color your paper. So now we've got our red in there, and again, we're going to give that a good shake. Just get that mixed up. Make sure you've got your top on nice and tight. And get that ink out of those other bits. And then we'll clean this off really quickly. Okay, there we go. We've got, our knife is done. And I didn't want to make brown or red, or I mean brown or black. I'm not really sure. Even though I use a lot of brown, I just don't think that brown would work that well as an alcohol ink. I mean, it would make that color, but I just don't know what I would use it for. So because, you know, it's brown, it would overpower, and black too, it would overpower my colors. So I just don't see any reason to do that. But there's no reason that you can't if you think that you would like to. Because this is a kind of plastic surface, I can kind of wipe that off a little bit too. And there we go. So now we have our alcohol inks, and again, like I said, these are not going to, these two will not be as dark as the ones from yesterday, but I wanted to be able to show you how to make them a couple of times. So, and then what does alcohol ink look like when you put it on something. So here is green and yellow just on a piece of acetate. Oh, it's not showing up on there very well. It is darker than what you're seeing, I do believe. But it just makes a nice, it will color a whole surface. Now, I did one of the bags. This is one of the bags that the bottles came in, and I thought those might be really cute to go ahead and put the alcohol ink on them. And again, it's not showing up as well in this light, but it is very nice green and yellow. And you know, here, wherever it looks white on the screen, those spots are all yellow. So, but I thought that would be really cute. Stick a piece of paper in there. Now I can stick something in there and then just fold it up and put a staple in the top, or take a piece of paper and fold it over the top and staple it. So you have a little gift bag that's really cute and unique, and it's all your own. So I'm almost afraid to try these right now because they're so fresh, but we're going to try them anyways. And we'll do it on one of the bags that I have. And so what we're going to do, I'm going to put a piece of paper towel underneath, just so maybe you'll be able to see it a little better. And let's try purple and blue. Now, there's the way that I do, most everyone does alcohol ink, is you put your ink onto a piece of felt. This is a piece actually of flannel, not felt. Felt works the best. It soaks it up and it holds it there. So we'll get some felt in the next couple of weeks to use our alcohol inks with, and because it was something I did not think about, and we'll get something to hold it also. So I will show you how to make your own alcohol ink dauber within the next couple of weeks. So, but what you're going to do is, because I had a piece of felt in my stash, we're just going to put it on there, and this is how you would do it with your felt also. And I do not throw these away. I keep them and use them over and over and over for the same colors, because then what happens is the ink that's still in this fabric, and like I said, felt does work better than the fabric does, because felt kind of holds it in one spot, whereas the fabric sucks it out, you know, all over the place, and you know, you have less. But I just go ahead and put the same colors on there, and then I'll show you what it looks like with just the color. You just dab it onto your paper. See, now that's really soaking it up. You can also take it straight to your project, like this, and then just dab it around. And then we'll put a little blue on there. And when I do my felt, I do blue and purple together on the same piece of felt. Normally, I do two colors, because then those two colors blend together. And you can do them right at the same time, a little bit of blue, a little bit of purple. And they kind of both stay in their own spot on the felt. They don't mix quite as much as they're doing here. And the more you get on there, every time you put new on there, even, you know, like after months, it just reconstitutes what's already there along with what you're putting on there. So you have to use less, because this is saving it for you. So let me grab a piece of paper here so that you can see what that looks like. And see how it mixes nicely and makes all these little mottled spots. And if you want it to be more kind of mottled, I want to put a little more purple on there. And there we go. And it just looks, and now that's really light because there's just purple there, but you can see the edges where it's kind of mixing together, and it just, alcohol ink just gives you lovely color. So that is how you make your alcohol ink and the types of things you can put it on. I have this little glass jar that my husband got some cheesecake, I think, in. And so I thought maybe what I would do is maybe just, well, do I want it on the inside or the outside? Maybe the outside, because then I can do something with the inside later. Just drop it on there and kind of let it run around. Do some purple too. Kind of let them run together and mix. And you don't have to cover the whole thing either. Leaving some of it clear really gives you a very cool look also. Put some over here where I didn't put any. And you can just add to it and add to it and add to it until it gets to a look that you like the looks of. I've got some on my gloves, just put it on the bottom there. But I think that I like the way that that looks, and in order to make it easier for you to see, I'll stick this piece of white paper inside and show you what that looks like, and see how easy that was. And again, if you say, well, I don't like that it's all blue, I want just a touch of purple there, put just a little drop of purple there. And just let that run around. And there we go. And I think that I have enough color on there that I like the way that that looks. So, you know, that's any non-porous surface. It works very well. You can even, because this is, it's got a tag on the top, but because this is a metal top, we can put the color on the top also. Now you're going to see what's underneath. It's not going to cover that up. And if I were to, yeah, I think if I were to sand off the paper, I don't think it would be as non-porous, because the paper would, or the spots where you sanded it, I think would just grab the ink. I think they wouldn't be as non-porous. Just let it run over the edge. And when you have a solid color non-porous surface, your colors turn out much brighter than when you have something that's see-through. Because obviously, alcohol inks are see-through, and so is the project. So that just makes them much lighter. But, so that was a really simple one. And actually, it was very fast because I had already done 4 of them up. But, I wonder if maybe put just a couple of drips of red on here, because red and blue make purple. The only thing is, too, because they really do blend with each other, make sure that you have colors that will blend together. You don't want to do like green and purple. It's going to make brown, or orange and purple. You know, just so make sure that the colors you put on there are colors that will blend and make a nice color for you. The other thing that you can do is, in order to make them bloom a little bit, let's see, what did I do with my, you can put a little bit of rubbing alcohol on there. And I just cut up an old, it's not a credit card, it was something that came in the mail, advertising hearing aids. You know, when you get old, they advertise all that stuff to you. But, ooh, that's an awful lot. But so you just put some rubbing alcohol on, and then tap the rubbing alcohol on top, and that will make it, that will also make it fill in. It will give you little blooms of color. Let's go ahead and color the whole top. And try not to use too much, because then you're going to water it down by doing that. Maybe do just couple more. And you can just play with it. Just continue to add until it looks the way that you want it to look. And always remember to close your alcohol inks for 2 reasons. Rubbing alcohol dries very quickly. It also evaporates very quickly. So you want to, whether you have these or the ones from the store, you do want to make sure that you close them up. Plus, you do not want to spill them because they're permanent. So there we go, and there's what the top of that looks like. And that's going to stay because it's permanent ink. Now, it's not that you couldn't rub it really hard or scratch it really hard and get it off that way, but it really does stay well. And let's see here. Excuse me, apologize about that. Just want to kind of see if I can put this paper back in here so that you can see. And I need to cut some of that off. And so there we go. That is what our alcohol inks look like. And our blue is doing very well, and our red also, even though they've just been made just now. So they will get darker. And I do think that instead of doing a 1/2 ounce of rubbing alcohol, I think doing a little bit less, just a 1/2 of one of these bottles would be a darker alcohol ink. And I think what I might do is, and again, that's not in our budget, but maybe we'll put that in our budget too. Get one more set of the alcohol inks, and that way we will have some really nice we'll have darker colors, because definitely I'm pretty positive they have not put as much ink in these as they used to. Because before I made a little more than this and they were much darker. So that is part of, and see, you want to make sure that you shut them, but they really do make really nice colors. Now, the reason this color will settle in your jar is because you have all of that in there, all the ink in there, and the alcohol, and so it will run down your jar and not stick in your jar as much as what it will when you actually use it to paint with. So there we go. I think that these turn out really cool. I think that they work really well, and you can just use them for different things. And if you watch other people play with alcohol inks and think, I want to try those, this is a really nice, reasonable way to try them. You have your jars now, and you've got a lot of rubbing alcohol, so you can make more and more of these for, what did we spend? What did we spend? $7.75. One packet of alcohol inks, which is just 3 colors, at the store the other day. I looked at them. They were $13, $12.99. So, you know, they're not super cheap to buy them, but they are cheap to make and play with. And again, like I said, you can, I think that what we'll do is, I don't have anything purchased for next week. I did have an idea for next week, but I think what I'm going to do is, for next week, I'm going to buy, let me write this down. So we are going to get, for next week, we're going to get another set of our permanent markers. We are going to get a sheet of felt from Walmart. They used to be 50 cents. They might be $1 now, but they're cheap. Whoops, what am I doing? Walmart felt. We are going to pick up from the Dollar Tree, we will pick up some Velcro. preferably the straight strip instead of the little dots. If you can only get the little dots, those will work, but the straight strip will work better. And then at the Dollar Tree, they have little like Jenga blocks, but they're very small. If your Dollar Tree has those, I don't know, I haven't really looked for them in a while, but if you can get the Jenga blocks, we're going to get those, and not at the store. You don't want to pay $20 for a thing of Jenga blocks. You could use, I used this today, and we can go ahead and put our felt around that too, and use that, because we need just something that's a solid surface to put our felt on. So any old credit card, anything that you have that's hard, so like foam board would work, but because it could possibly soak up a little more of your ink. So we're going to try and get the Jenga blocks or something like that from the Dollar Tree. So if they don't have the Jenga blocks, look and see if they have something that is fairly hard, and they only need to be just this size or smaller, you know, a little bit. They could be a little bit smaller than this. So they don't need to, and nothing large. And then we will pick up some of these little clear stones, because we're going to use those for a different project also, so we can get those. And so we have the Velcro and the felt and the Jenga blocks will make our dauber. We're going to get another thing of permanent markers so that our ink will be a little stronger. And then we've got some clear stones. And then if you go to some place like Menards or something like that, just pick up a very cheap box of washers. So, and those are just circles with a hole in the middle, and they're made out of silver metal. And you want silver. Don't get copper or anything like that. Get the cheapest ones that they have, except for galvanized. I don't know if they make them in galvanized, but you don't want that, because that is not necessarily a non-porous surface. I think it's kind of a paint or something that they put on there, or it's something they do to the metal that makes it not so shiny. So just get some shiny washers, and you should be able to get those for a couple of dollars at the most. I'm going to guess you could get a packet for $1. You don't need to get a huge packet. You may not like to use them, but just get a small packet of washers. So that is probably going to be about one. Okay, let's go with our dollar store stuff. This is the dollar store, this is the dollar store, this is the dollar store, and this is the dollar store. And I don't believe they have washers. So 1, 2, 3, 4. So that's $5. This is probably going to be 50 cents. We'll say that that's $6. And we'll pay up to $1.50 for our washer. So that will be $7.50. That is our money for next week. And what I will do is I will pick these things up. I will do a quick video just showing you what I got. In case I can't get the Jenga blocks, I'll see what else I can find at the Dollar Tree. And we'll find out how much those washers are and how much that felt is. So I will try and get those and do a video before it's time for me to actually do next week's video. And so next week we will play with our alcohol inks. And again, you know, anything that you have that you might want to play with that's non-porous, go ahead and grab some of that together too. And that's what we will do for next week. Thank you very much for stopping by. I really do appreciate each and every one of you. And I hope that you all have an outstanding day. Bye-bye.